Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
I tell you, I got something to say, folks. Government is slow. They're slow to respond. But danger isn't slow, folks. When it's on you, it's on you. You're in big trouble. Let's get into the discussion right now. The people we're dealing with, they know what they want. They know what they want to do. What I'm talking about is I'm talking about all of your pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah type people that are here in the United States of America. The Democrats, the rhinos, Washington, D.C. has now gotten exactly what they want. They get to play their games, and we get to suffer. We get to pay. We are the ones who are having to watch our backs. You and I, the American people, our grandchildren, our children, our parents, our generation, we get to suffer the consequences of the jackasses in D.C. And they very well fucking know it. I'm going to give you a couple examples here. Well, you've heard all about Hamas and everything they did in Israel. One of these clowns calls his parents and leaves a message. This message has been released to the public, bragging about how he killed 10 Jews. That's just fucking great, isn't it? What an amazing accomplishment. His place in some fucked up type of afterlife is assured. This is who they are, folks. This is what they want. Government doesn't give a shit. In fact, they keep us distracted. They keep us worried, and they get to play savior at some point. Maybe, if we're lucky, if they don't give in altogether, if they don't continue to use Hamas and pro-Palestinian terrorists in the United States of America as continuous false flag psychological operations against the American people. Whenever they need a little disturbance, a little distraction, fire up one of these sleeper cells here, reward them, give them some money, some food, some guns, wind them up with some kind of stupid statement about Israel, and turn them loose to hurt us as punishment. Kind of like Governor Gretchen Whitmer giving more lockdowns, more masking, because the people of Michigan were sick of her shit. There's a big difference, folks, between servitude and freedom. I hope it's becoming obvious to you. Now, to the case at hand. Government is slow. Call the police because there's an emergency. 10, 15, 20 minutes later, you may have a police cruiser or a sheriff's deputy roll up on your house, roll up on the scene. Just depends on their proximity. It just depends. They're slow. They can't be everywhere at once. And sometimes the police don't want to show up at all because they don't want to deal with the situation. Like Chicago PD, can you fucking blame them? New York PD, can you blame them? Hell, LA PD, they'll roll up and arrest you. Leave the criminals intact. Now, down in the great state of Florida, Governor DeSantis has decided to stand up. Now, as much as I want to commend him for finally doing something, the word that I put in there, finally, speaks volumes. Where the fuck you been? How many days has it been? Let's see, it is the what the fuck is the date? The 23rd, the 24th? The Hamas attack, folks, was over 2 weeks ago. After their attack, the initiation of their attack, they called for the Friday the 13th, all jihadis get your fucking boners going and start, supporting us worldwide. That was on Friday the 13th. It's been 10 days plus since then. So like I said, police, government are slow to act. So at least the first governor out of the box that we know of, Governor DeSantis, right? It says, you know what? Supporting Hamas is a crime. It's a fucking felony. So these college student organizations that say they're part of the uprising, part of it, they're not just supporting it, but they're part of it. These pro-Palestinian student organizations wanting protests in college, well, they've been disbanded. Here's my thing. Sorry, that's not fucking good enough. To support them and participate by being a, quote, part of this Hamas attack, worldwide operation. It is an attack and a worldwide operation, and they are supporting it, and they are part of it. That is an act of terror. They have joined and engaged in terrorism with a terrorist organization. They should fucking be arrested. You don't give your enemy time to change their words and go, oh yeah, no, we just kind of like the idea, and free speech. You have to let us have our free speech as terrorists. Why would you do that? So their protests can gain momentum within the local Muslim community that looks around and goes, yeah, I guess we better join this before our own brethren start slaughtering us too. Last thing they want to do is be called, Jew supporters in the Muslim community, right? Jew sympathizers in the Muslim community. They'll have to join. They'll be the first ones to join. They need to be shut down now for not only supporting, but folks, to support is to participate in. To participate in is to be part of. It's a crime. It's a federal crime in Florida. Did I say a federal crime? It's a state crime in Florida. I'm sure it's a federal crime as well. Why aren't they being arrested? Government is slow to act. Shit happens fast. Shit happens really fast. 1 minute, everything is fine. The next minute, you've got a car on your ass. They're fucking beeping at you, laying on the horn. They're trying to fight you. 1 minute, everything is normal. The next minute, you got two people yelling and screaming at you. In Washington, D.C., two preschool teachers were walking down the street. Beggar asks them for some money. They say, no, we don't have any. Beggar starts punching the teachers in the face, knocks one out, sends them to the hospital. All done in front of a bunch of children. When shit happens, it happens fast. The entire nation of Israel is doing its thing, and they're attacked by Hamas. An organized attack, once again, low-tech, fucking hang gliders, and low-tech air invasion, and they just start killing everyone they can, taking hostages, and then claiming they didn't take hostages. Thanks, Biden. Thanks, Biden. That's what there is, folks. That's who these people are. The Bidenistas. Thanks, Biden. Thanks, Democrats. Thanks, McCarthy. Thanks, McConnell. Thank you, government, for being slow to respond. There's a difference between free speech and calling for the murder of people. Now, I understand free speech, folks, very well. You should be able to say anything up to the point, right, of people being hurt. And that is the red zone right there, when people start getting hurt. When people start getting hurt as a consequence of any speech, and not just speech. It's not speech that causes violence, folks. It's government that causes violence. Then government must act to stop it instantly. Not 10, 15, 20 minutes later. not 10 or 15 days later. Funny how people are being forced to write letters and apologize publicly for supporting Trump so that they can plea bargain their little case down, while these radical fucksticks are calling for the death of Jews and Israel and America. I'm telling you, and the government loves it. John, that's too rough. How dare you say the government loves it? Oh, really? Then why haven't they done anything to fix it? Why hasn't the government come out and said, okay, we understand you have free speech, you bunch of pro-Palestinians. Tell you what, you've got all the free speech you want. You call for violence once and we hear it. If there's a violent act anywhere, we'll deport all of your asses. Every one of you in that group. You bet. Every one of them in that group, that college, that university, that city, that town, deported, gone, toast. There's a fucking UFC fighter. He's Muslim. He prays that someone gives him a rifle and sends him over to Palestine. Okay, then. What he has done is he has said he wants to participate in a violent, murderous action. How is that not an offense worthy of being deported? And if he's an American citizen, having his citizenship stripped, and if he is a natural-born American, he should be tried as a fucking criminal for aiding and supporting and abetting a murderous organization and the enemy of the country. Because there's right. Why do you wait? Why do you wait? Well, John, you can't just arrest somebody when they haven't done anything wrong, right? You haven't done anything wrong. Okay. I know this is gray area, folks. I get it. I totally get it. Gray area here. Does America wait for its enemies to attack them before responding? Oh, typically, yeah. But once you're attacked, what do you do? Right? Now, in NATO, if a NATO member is attacked, then you have to go kick the shit out of the person, the country, whatever that did it. Right? You don't wait for them to attack every single independent NATO organization. Well, I know that was for standing up to communist assault. Well, do we or do we not have a massive international, multinational organization that hides behind women and children, promising to attack us, Israel, Europe, and the rest of the world every chance they get, any chance they get, over any excuse they see possible? Why do we wait for them to attack before we say, okay, now we're going to do something about it? Well, because government is slow, and they want to appear just. At the same time, when government sees a criminal that they know is a criminal, that intends to commit more crimes, has stated they're going to commit more crimes, has committed crimes in the past, they're a fucking criminal and they need to be arrested. They'll go arrest that criminal. Right? They've got the information they need, the evidence they need, and they will go arrest the criminal or criminals or criminal organization. Terrorism, okay, if it's not a country worthy of a national debate on whether or not to go to war, treat them as criminals, because that's what they are. They don't have a true nation behind them. They hide within nations. Good, they're a criminal organization. They've committed crimes. Arrest their asses here in America if they support them. Anyone who supports the criminals is a criminal. They're aiding and abetting. They're enjoining at opportunity. Act now. But here's the truth, folks. Here's the facts. Nothing's going to happen from the government. Florida wants to talk some shit, but they're going to let them regroup. They should be fucking arrested. They won't. They won't arrest them. This is going to continue and persist until terror actions are going on here, until Jews are being killed in our streets. The government allowed Black Lives Matter. They allowed communist Antifa to assault and kill white people, black people, Asian people, and Native Americans. They have allowed racial crap to go on while screaming and yelling that whites are white supremacists and that blacks are white supremacists. They'll allow the Palestinian, pro-Palestinian, Hamas, Hezbollah, pro-Muslim radical jihadis to get away with murder, literally, until they decide it's time to do something. Remember, folks, in 2020, and I know I'm going long today, in 2020, government was slow to act, if they acted at all. They allowed these radical little fuckers to burn businesses. They tried setting fire to courthouses. Good thing they're made out of rocks. Police stations, they allowed them to attempt to murder police in police stations, burning them alive. The attempt was to burn the police alive and didn't arrest them. And if they did, they let them go. They should have come on down on them like a fucking ton of bricks. That's beyond terrorism. It's not protesting peacefully or mostly peacefully. It's attempted fucking murder and it's terrorism. Using violence and threats of violence to cause a political decision to be made in favor of the terrorists and their agenda. That is what terrorism is, and that's what they did. And they were allowed to get away with it. Allowed by the government. The same government that's here today, now facing a terrorist who is intent on killing even more people. Not just protesting, not just saying cops are bad, not just calling for defunding of police. They want to destroy America and kill Jews. I know how I would run this fucking show. I guess we'll find out how it all plays out. For me, I know what to expect. I'm prepared. Are you? Chance favors the prepared mind. Godspeed, Semper Fi.